Welcome and hello and hello and welcome and welcome and hello and hello and welcome. Welcome and hello. Let me just add hello and welcome and hello. Thank you for joining me on an extremely special edition of Un Poco Moss, the show where we give you just a little bit more, just a little bit. We give you such a little amount more that it's imperceptible, but you'll notice it later. It's cumulative. It adds up. Watch Un Poco Moss 30, 40 years, it might sink in. Then again, you might just get old and you don't know. Anyway, guys, it's Ryan. OMG, it's Ryan. His little smurf, like it's it's Kevin, meet Kevin. That's kind of a YouTube thing, I guess. It's meets. There's a Vegas guy. Say hi to Kevin or something. I can't remember. Say hi to Matthew. His videos are pretty boring. I think he's a Canadian guy who just eats. I don't know. There's something to be said for just watching Canadian people eat. But anyway, guys, you know you're getting old when you get to work and you're like, oh my god, I forgot my intermediates. I don't have my intermediates. I can't see. What am I gonna do without my intermediates for a day? We may as well cancel work and go home, have a snow day. I don't have my intermediates. Like, oh man, I guess it's time for me to get some trifocals, bifocals, just get down to business of being like an old, you know, retiree wannabe. Anyway, what was this video supposed to be about? I can't remember. I can't see. I might go back to the sunglasses. I can kind of see with the sunglasses, but it just doesn't work when you're like a fat guy. It's not like a Belushi situation. You don't want to be just an even more bloated Belushi. Belushi was a little bloated already. But I got like 130 pounds on Belushi. I think he's a little guy, and he could dance. You guys seen the Blues Brothers? Anyway, it's Oprah's Big Wet Cave, of course, the great Oprah's Big Wet Cave. Apologies to Stedman. We got Sean Markey from SRM Contracting. Oh, my cholesterol, my temper, my anxiety. Actually, today my portfolio was up really nicely. SMCI made a nice move. CRISPR, big like 7-8% move. Prop, which I don't have a ton of prop, but I have pretty, building a pretty decent sized position that made like a 10% move. What else did I have moving in the right direction? Own a lot of Google stock that was moving in the right direction. Microsoft was basically stalled. Amazon was stalled. I still own a lot of Tesla. Tesla, huge pop. Neo, again, moving back in the right direction. I think a lot of people were just, really people freak out about, dilution. You sell shares. And I mean, everybody seems to forget in the equation that you're getting a commensurate amount of cash for, you have to fund business operations. Everyone just freaks out about dilution. I mean, the stock drops 10%, so buy a few more shares if you want to end up with the same piece of the pie you had before. If they dilute you by 10%, you have to add about 10% to your share count at that reduced price. But that's a matter of conviction, and that's a matter of faith in terms of what management's doing with a stock like Neo. Today, this video was ostensibly, these sunglasses look so stupid, ostensibly about Opendoor and sort of what's going on with the stock, because people keep asking me, should I have bought? People were asking me, should I bought around 5 a few days ago? And I was like, no, I'm not buying it. And then it just keeps going up. So, and then a doo-doo, stick my head in poo-poo, or however Daniel Tosh used to say it. But today, just nothing to see here. The stock churned a billion shares today. So at this share price, that exceeds the entire market cap. So it wasn't the share price all day, of course. Came in and opened up around 750, and then low was 742, and then it just was very, very strong right into the close. It actually fell a little bit. I'm sorry, that was after hours, but closed really strong, almost at the high of the day. I mean, you can see the day's range was only to 1070, and it closed at 1052. So that's quite a dramatic range, and that's quite a strong close, and that's a hell of a lot of volume. There's a lot of shorts on the stock, but this is certainly not a short squeeze as yet, because the shorts have not really gone anywhere. You see they borrowed 14 million shares yesterday, and today they just returned 500,000 shares and just took a few off loan. But if you look at the short interest, they're still shorting 25% of the free float. So that's 163 million shares, but 359 million shares on loan. So they are really loaded for bear. And with the cost to borrow 7.3%, utilization 93%, this could definitely get interesting, particularly if the price keeps going up tomorrow. There's going to be some really tough decisions to make because the shorts, this stock has been trading down and down and down as low as like 50 cents. So some of the shorts, I think, just thought the stock was going to die, as has been sort of the pattern with some of these other real estate stocks. Now, as far as the short interest and a lot of the setup and some of the major shareholders, I really like the stock. Like, in terms of the insiders, they own 20%, which is great. Problem for me is institutions that I like are not really sort of hanging in the stock. Now, the number one shareholder is still Vanguard. They have 66 million shares, which is great. Their average cost is $18. So they've been in the stock a good long while. Now, they reduced their share count last quarter by 22%. And then my other favorite, of course, is BlackRock. Now, they reduced last quarter by 70%. They're probably really kicking themselves. They don't usually miss runs quite that badly, but they still have 15 million shares. Let's see who was increasing their share count. Just this one Vanguard fund, but overall they were decreasing. Two Sigmas, huge increase. Charles Schwab, a little bit of a decrease. Interesting to see one of my fellow bottom feeders here, Goldman Sachs, and their fabulous Marcus retail banking product that they deployed, almost killed SoFi. I didn't quite get the job done. But them and Apple were going to kill SoFi. Don't forget about that Marcus retail banking product. Anyway, Goldman Sachs increased their share count by 54% last quarter, and their average cost is $3.15. So, and then Two Sigmas and basically Two Sigmas and Goldman are coming in extremely heavy into the stock, as is UBS. You see the same thing with Citadel, which is very, very encouraging. Citadel's average cost is $1.37, and they just increased their share count 243% last quarter. So seems like some smart money saw this move coming, and some smart money just lost patience and got out of the way for the most part. They didn't really sell out. I mean, nobody was really selling out of this thing. But you can't blame them the way it was kind of grinding off the middle. If you look at this chart, it's not unlike, SoFi's chart or some of the other, sort of mania charts. The stock went all the way up, almost touched $40, $39, and then traded all the way down from the fall, fell basically to $1, and then tested that a couple times, went back up to $5, and then just traded down from the $3.50 area all the way down to looks like around 40 cents. And then essentially in 2 months, the stock has gone from 40 cents to $10.50. Now, it's hard. It's kind of a double-edged sword with these runs, because psychologically it's hard not to chase them when you see a stock, doubling every couple of days and it just looks like it's going to keep going up. But if you actually think about the times you have chased it in practice, you probably lose money chasing moves like this. I mean, when something is, 20x in only a couple of months, and there really is no fundamental justification. I know their sales are up quarter on quarter. I know they made a tiny EBITDA profit for the first time in 3 years, and people, go from 6 to midnight. But people get a boner easily these days. Their mind is desensitized, and too much like pornography at a young age or something. It's something to do with the internet. I don't know. So I don't know why all my commentary always comes back to tiny wings, sexual frustration, anxiety, all these types of things. But it's a dirty stew going on in the head. Paperboy, you mean that Adam Sandler skit or the Chris Elliott show, or which Paperboy are we talking about? B-Dub is sitting on thousands of shares, writing cash secured puts as the option chain up higher and higher strikes. It's certainly a just at a certain point when it gets just too heavy, when it gets too hot, just pull the plug and take your money. That's it. Don't wait for the rug pull. At a certain point, if you're making those types of profits, use your judgment, of course. I mean, but if you're exercising, if you're watching your options properly, you can still stay in the game without risking a lot of your profits. So you sound like you know what you're doing. Anyway, looking at this chart, this is a pretty key level because this is where it was camped out here. I mean, this is basically SPAC days. I mean, $10, and then you see the insane move, the pump and dump. But when the pump and dump stops, this big butterfly pattern, this Rorschach butterfly, where does the pain stop? It falls all the way down here to the 850 area. It tries to recover to 11. And it tries to make a little market there, comes back down to 6, and then tries to test 10 again. It does test 10 again, in fact. And then from there, it's just a steady algo walk down to $1, basically right at $1. So they walk it down from 10 in March of 2022 to $1 in December. That is a dramatic walk down in 9 months. Very dramatic. 3 tests of $1 moves back to 5. So the algo's been all over this. This chart is not unlike the SoFi chart. It's not unlike the Neo chart. It's not unlike so many other stocks that went completely, insane during, the COVID trading period when everybody just had tons and tons of checks and nowhere to spend them. So they were just sort of playing the market. Hey, let me play options, honey. Okay, you go. Yeah, I've heard it's great for people with a tiny wang. Oh, it'd be great for you then, dear. What was that? Anyway, I think that was an episode of Leave It to Beaver, Laverne and Shirley, something like that. 227. You guys ever watch 227? Good show. Highly underrated show. Porn on one monitor, Hurricane Lewis. Oh, Harry, thanks, Alfredo. I really appreciate that. And just the thought of your name bringing to mind Alfredo sauce. Kind of a thick, viscous, white liquid while you're watching porn and un poco porn. That dual monitor setup. Alfredo, you're supposed to use those to trade stocks. You got charts up there. Not to just some fat guy and then some fantasy land. Some kind of step MILF scenario. I often get my head stuck in a washing machine. Porn is so ridiculous. I don't know. Anyway, you kids. I guess it kind of was. I was just too old. I don't get it. I guess it's just these like, what are you talking about? You kids find this I don't know, sexual? It's ridiculous. Anyway, I don't know. That aside, let's see. Charts. Alfredo's like, charts? We don't need those stinking charts. We got what is it? What's the thing? I don't even know the name. Pornhub. That's the one. Let's see. Who else is here? I don't want to jam your game up there, Carl, talking about tiny wangs too much. What's up, Billy Jack? The great Billy Jack with the retro throwback avatar. We got the great BW. Already talked to him. Eric Stoltz is here. Eric Stoltz. What's going on? Loved you in that vampire movie. We already talked to you. Sean Markley, the great Sean Markley with SRM Contract for all your contract needs. Doing shoring, doing demolition, doing concrete, whatever you need. Even if he ain't licensed for it, he'll do it. He's got a guy. Everybody's got a guy. He's got to work on Sunday when the inspectors ain't around. You know what I mean? Them inspectors don't work Sunday. That's what they say. Actually, I am a city building inspector. Also run SRM contracting on Sundays. Building inspectors are at church down at the brothel. Know what I mean? No, not really. I'm sure it's SRM contractors are a very reputable outfit. Oh, building skyscrapers and malls throughout the mid-Atlantic. I don't want to take that. Let's see. Let me turn off this ringer because it's so damn loud. So what do you guys think? Think this thing's going to keep going up? I see natural resistance point at 10, and then, of course, should have been resistance. You saw a little hitch here at 5, just a hitch. not the Will Smith movie, but then you saw almost no hitch here at 650. You should have seen some resistance. 860 should have been another resistance point. Will we see resistance here? Will we see it turn around? Volume is subsiding a bit. This was a big move. When you see a bigger move on less volume, but it's how is this less volume? Oh, this is yesterday's candle, I think. I don't know what the hell's going on here. How is this less volume? I hate these Yahoo charts. So this was more, so it was the big day. So it was trading 4 billion shares. And then what was the average? What was it trading back here? Like 100 million, 50 million. So the volume is still really high. I mean, it's come down off of this mark, off of 2 billion. But the volume coming down, huge move up. I don't think this thing's done just yet. I think this thing might have one more day in it. The call sellers are probably on their like fourth pair of tighty whiteys right now. It just hasn't been pretty. Probably selling blood and semen down at the local clinic. Get yourself checked out before things start falling off on a man. Victor Maitland, is that you? I think you should probably tell him that yourself. Original Beverly Hills Cop, good movie. I'm pretty tired, guys. If you can tell, it's pretty incoherent. But you guys want to take a look at basically this is just an article in the Wall Street Journal. Social media's new favorite stock is soaring, close 79% higher Thursday after real estate platform announced. This is the big announcement. Okay, so Shopify chief operating officer. This guy might be an Armo. I'm a lot Armo, so I know how these things go. Is new CEO and added 2 co-founders back to the board of directors. Okay, so what? I mean, I don't know what fundamentally that does. They just are coming back because they want free shares. I mean, they gave this guy incentive-based equity awards, which could total $860 million at Thursday's price. So 82 million shares if he performs. So the stock is up 1,953% since late June after an army of individuals started buying the stock. So it's not really much of an update, but you could see the chart. I mean, it's almost turned from a really steep clamoring buying up here to 6, and now it's just gone to a complete sort of frenzied shooting star pattern here over the last couple of days. Can it keep going up? Absolutely, it can keep going up, but that the smart money has got their parachutes ready. I think the option sellers, I don't think they were necessarily caught off guard until today because, this stock has been moving for a number of weeks. So I think a lot of that was priced into the options. I was taking a look at the options and boy, they were expensive. I mean, they were pricing in a big move, not this big a move, not 80%. What does this guy do? If you guys know him better than me, what does he do? I mean, essentially, what does Opendoor do? They buy houses directly. They fix the houses using like an inside wholesale. They're basically a house flipping outfit. I mean, this is the same thing like Zillow was doing and so many of these other, Purple Bricks, these discount brokerages. This has been tried 8 ways to Sunday. And so we're like, well, what's their special sauce? Their special sauce is this new operations guy is really good at incorporating AI from Shopify. Well, if my aunt had a package, she would be my uncle. You know what I mean? Know what I mean? Know what I mean? I'm no meat, all taters. You know what I mean? I'm all meat. I'm no meat, all taters. But I mean, how are they going to get margin? Their margins were almost nothing. Even this profitable quarter, their gross margins were less than 9%. How do you make money that way? And their EBITDA was 30 million this quarter on 1.5 billion in sales. And next quarter, they're projecting they're going to lose 30 billion again in EBITDA. And their net was, their GAAP net was negative again this quarter. So it wasn't actually a profitable quarter. It's a bit of a misnomer. It's a bit misleading. Bit of the old twig and berries, a bit of the old tuck job. So I don't see where the market share is going to come from. Okay, so they're saying, okay, fundamentally, interest rates are going to come down eventually. That's going to cause transaction volume to go up. But if you're not making any money on each transaction, and they're saying, okay, they're going to sell ancillary services, title insurance, but Guys, I buy and sell real estate. I do deals. This is kind of my wheelhouse. I see how these things go. And at this time, most people they're very uncertain about the market. They're uncertain about technology. They're certainly don't trust AI to sell their house. You're giving them about a 9% discount on average when you factor in the repairs and everything else, just for the convenience of not listing your house. And then their margin, their gross margin is that 9%. So it's not some huge like black box mystery. They pay cash up front. You don't have to do anything. They buy your house at a discount. They sell it up. They fix it up as cheap as they can, utilizing, AI, whatever that. I've never seen AI like paint a house or put in a new marble countertop, right? What do you schedule it with AI? I mean, there's certain things that just aren't AI. In fixing up houses, flipping houses, I just don't believe is AI, because here's the thing. I've done a lot of this, and there are millions of very intelligent, savvy investors with their own money who are out there in this market, and none of the institutions have been able to beat them. Now, institutions and banks, they're buying up countless rental properties, but they're just running them as sort of this factory of rentals, and you can make a lot of money that way, but they're not flipping the houses. They're not buying the houses with the intention of, selling them at a profit through a specific time frame. Now, if you're set up to operate leasing these homes, and then you can pick and choose when, in what market, at what interest rate, in what conditions, in what economy you want to go ahead and market these houses for sale, and you can just drip, drip, drip them into a market when it's positive. You have to think about it like a share offering, like you're selling at the market. But that matter, like NEO, do you sell at the market at 350 or do you sell at the market at 550? It's a massive difference, because you're getting 80% more money for each share. So as a shareholder, dilution is not all created equal. It's not the number of shares. It's what do you get for each share? Know what I mean? Know what I mean? Know what I mean? So I don't know. Long story short, I don't know anything. I'm a complete jerk. Anything else you guys want to know? I don't know. All the options went away on this thing over the years. People just got sick of it and grinding it down from $5 back down to 50 cents. Everybody's like, this thing's gone. Institutional ownership still, running about 50%. I mean, it fell off last month, but this is when the stock are, just starting to go up. I think a lot of these sales were kind of pre-done. Gold, BlackRock doesn't miss that bad most of the time. Their average cost is $24. Their average cost is $24, and the stock comes down to 40 cents. Your testicles suck up into your gun. A vacuum. You know what I mean? Can't do anymore. Know what I mean? Anyway, it's great. Keen's Tam is here. Greatest smile on YouTube. Keen's Tam. Great Joy Luna is here. Oh, we love you, Joy. We know you hate us. Makes us love you even more. How's your pantsuit? How's the real estate game? I don't think if you're Opendoor, you don't want to take on the likes of Joy Luna. AI can't wear a pantsuit. Style a coiffed hairdo. Put out some Aram sandwiches. Those pinwheel sandwiches all the realtors are so fond of. Let me tell you something about those sandwiches. There's no spread in there. There's no condiment. It's a bunch of dry romaine lettuce, Joy. Enough with the pinwheel sandwiches. What happened when you used to put out a little sandwich spread, a little deli tray? You put out a little mayo. You put out a little mustard. Maybe you put out a little brown deli mustard. Know what I mean? Know what I mean? You put out a little whole grain. I like to have 3 or 4 mustards to choose from. What do you put with like a pinwheel sandwich? We used to call them Aram sandwiches. I don't know if that's right, but nothing like a dry pinwheel sandwich, Joy. I'm not buying that townhome. $2 million. Can't even put out a bottle of mustard. I mean, come on. You definitely took that pantsuit to the dry cleaner. You get your makeup did. You look like $1 million. Give a fat man a decent sandwich. Give me down to like a Jimmy John's, Fireman's. Give me a foot long. Don't be slicing that thing up into too many slices either, Joy. I'm going to feel awkward taking like 7, 8 pieces of that 6-foot sub. You want to you want to draw in the fat guy market. Enough with all these like dainty finger foods. Like a 6-foot sub, oil and vinegar all over it. Give me an easy chair. Give me a nice bib. How do you like the house, honey? That's really good. That's delicious. No, the house, not the sandwich, you big fat dear. Hold on. Be polite. They're going to put this on social media. They have hidden cameras. Yeah, you're stuffing your face. You got sandwich all the way down to your groin. It's only on your shirt. It's all over your pants. Oh, that's a funny scene when you catch the guy farting in Paul Rudd's open house. Crop dusting all over your open house. He's like, yeah, she's saying I don't really like the house. She's like, yeah, it smells like fart. I love open house behavior. I used to kind of troll through open houses because I just had nothing to do and I like free snacks. I didn't have a convertible Mustang, but something similar. I forget what I was driving at the time. Oh, probably my trusty Honda poop-colored CRV. You can't kill that vehicle. It does smell like urine. It has several dents, but doesn't even need oil changes, those CRVs, those older CRVs. Doesn't need oil, doesn't need fluids, doesn't need tires, doesn't need brakes. Doesn't need nothing. Turn the key and go. Got to put gas like once a month. That's about it. Anyway, who knows what the hell I'm talking about. Wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. Yeah, I'm with you, Keynes, but I wish I bought it at 50 cents and then got out. I wish I was a gambling addict. Wait, I am. Got any action? Want to flip dollars? Want to race pinks? What do you got, Keynes? What do you want to bet? What do you want to bet? Nothing more sexy than making money. That's, I don't know about that. I think there's things more sexy than making money, but that's just me. Help me, step investor. You're my only hope. I'm Obi fat. Let's see. Just turning open. That's a curveball. Yeah, I just wanted to strike while the iron's hot, get a few views, low country. And actually it's because people keep asking me about this stock. It's been the last week. I'm just like, throw something out there, throw something together, throw enough doo-doo at the wall, see what sticks. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? What does it mean, Doc, if you got sticky feces? All your feces sticks to the wall. It's like you don't know which ideas are good. Too much of your feces is sticky. You got sticky feces. Well, it makes sense, Doc. I'm eating nothing but gummy bears. Well, there's a problem. Not going to be able to decipher any of these ideas until you stop eating nothing but gummy candies. All your feces is going to stick to the wall. Know what I mean? Know what I mean? If your doctor clicks at you, it might be time to try to find another physician. Hi, you're in real bad shape. Know what I mean? No, doctor, can you be more specific? Well, you're fucked. Like, oh, thanks, Doc. Perfect. You guys like the film Doc Hollywood? I think I was younger. There was like some boobs in there. It was pretty good. That was a pretty funny movie. Michael J. Fox is a funny guy. Still hanging in with the Parkinson's. Oh, let's see. Figma, another pullback. You guys listen to Keynes. This guy's got something on the ball. He's got glowing skin and a winning smile. We love it. Not gay, but I am very gay friendly, I'll tell you. I like to dance. Let's see. Who's this? Oh, let's see. Sorry, guys. Got a bunch of crap going on here. I didn't really have anything to say in the first place. Eddie Martin, you can do it. Go, go, go. I'm fat and slow. You can catch up. Keynes Tam. Let's see. All my clients from these are gamblers, 10x, 100x because they take leverage. Yeah. Well, I've been there, done that. But yeah, I try not to make those mistakes anymore as I get older. I just can't afford to lose everything. For prop from Seeking Alpha. Yeah, I read it, Clyde. I know about the dilution. I track all the dilution. They're saying 7x dilution. People think it's more, I think it's going to be more like 2x, 3x tops. Believe who you want to believe. Does management want to kill the stock and run a stock scam, or does management want to run a real company? I believe they want to run a real company. I'm not saying their track record is perfect, but this CEO guy, I think he actually knows what he's doing. Now, is he an operations guy in oil and gas? Absolutely not. Is he in the Denver Julesburg Basin, not down Houston? Absolutely not. Planet Houston. Like those dudes from like Superman 3 or whatever it was, Planet Houston. Those guys were freaky. One guy couldn't even talk. So, Of course, the one girl's boobs out, and the other like guy with the receding hairline, salt and pepper, the evil guy. I could have been a Bond villain, but they made me the Superman guy. Tough break. Anyway, the great Adam DeMonico is here. The great Adam DeMonico. They're going to ride this new CEO and board members for quite a while. It certainly juiced the stock, didn't it, Adam? I was like crazy. I mean, new CEO, you expect, okay, 10%, maybe 20%, this 80%. Wow, what a pop. They're still talking about the same thing as a week ago. That's why the whales are holding the base above 2 so it doesn't dilute. Oh, for a prop. Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. As far as the having, yeah, go below 2. Yeah, I got you. I know exactly what you're talking about. Sorry, I'm not tuned into prop right this second, but I'll actually do another prop video. I was buying prop and IOVA just the other day. Like prop just over 2. IOVA was, I think, also just over. I can't remember, but they were both dipping, and I was buying both. So yeah, I'm not worried about it. I want to see how the production ramps and see what happens. So might lose my money, but I know that going pretty well, Carl. Doing a ton of walking and exercise. Diet is so. I'm trying to dial it in. Mixed results, but overall, a lot better than I was a few weeks ago. So I'm going to pat myself on the back a little bit. The old Pat Morita right on the back. Yeah, real estate is not liquid. It's counterintuitive to stocks, which is true liquid. Basically, it's performance of liquidity is at the mercy of much uncontrollable asset that it's a completely different asset. I have a lot of stocks. I have a lot of real estate. It's totally apples and oranges, honestly. I mean, you do want to buy low and sell high, but it's real estate is a lot more about how you do it, not when you do it. Like real estate, you can make money in any market, but you just have to know what you're doing. Stocks, you can't just buy and sell them at any point and make money. I feel like you have more power in real estate, to be honest with you, because you have a lot more choices as like an individual investor. You actually are steering the ship. Like, I don't believe some giant institution knows how to flip houses in each market. What people want in each market is completely different. What's going on in each market is changing all the time, neighborhood by neighborhood. And they think, oh, we can just figure all that out through AI. No, you can't, because people in that neighborhood know it a lot better than you do. Realtors know it a lot better than you. And that's how people buy and sell real estate. They go and they hire a realtor. That's how most people do it. They go and they list with a realtor. Now, maybe buyers, yeah, they're mostly looking online. I get that. But at the end of the day, do they just trust some AI, one of these, nameless, faceless corporations to conduct the transaction? I guess if it saved them a lot of money, but ultimately, what are you really saving if, you're buying at a 9-10% discount and your margin's 9-10%? I mean, it's like an insurance company. They're just sort of sucking money off the top. Like, they can't fix up a house cheaper than all these big home builders. If this was a real opportunity, they would do this. They have their crews idle. They could go fix them. Nobody wants to flip houses. It's a fool's errand. I just don't see flipping houses as this big. And same with like Carvana. I think flipping cars is a lot better. It's like a lot faster. It's a lot more of a commodity. I think there's a lot more margin to be made, because when people trade in their cars, they basically give them nothing. And when they sell a used car at retail, they charge a ton. So you can like double that price. If somebody trades in their car for $5,000, you could sell that thing on a lot for like $12,000. If somebody trades in their house for $500,000, you're going to be lucky if you get $550. Repairs and stuff excluded. You're going to be very lucky if you can make 10%. This was a different market when house flippers were making, 30% stuff. People cannot overpay like that, not with these rates. And how far and how fast are rates going to come down to really juice this thing? We're not going to see rates like we did years ago. My mortgage is like a fixed, like 2.5. You ain't going to get that. You aren't. So anyway, I don't know. I don't know what the whole point of this video was. At the very least, management deceived analysts on prop. Johnson and Rice drop coverage. I I see what you're saying, but I disagree. I don't think, where did they specifically deceive anyone? That their production numbers were off? That they got started slower than they thought? That the full year is going to be off, going to be behind? People saying, well, Q3 is going to be worse than Q2. Well, let's see. If you're right, you're right. And I'll admit you're right. And I'll admit I got bamboozled. And somebody I trust a lot who gave me this recommendation, hasn't failed me much, but nobody's perfect. And nobody has insights that the insiders have. And if they're running a deal, then they're running a deal. Because there's a difference between a real company that's designed to make money on its own merits versus a stock scam that's designed to constantly pump and dilute and churn and preferred share and dump and dump and dump. It's two totally different things. There's 10X and there's JAGX. 10X is a real company. I'd argue the JAGX going from like $5 billion a share to $1, that's not a real company. They sort of have a business purpose. They sell like 3 million a quarter, but they burn so much money. It's just mind boggling. So there's differences between these things, But is prop a fake company? I don't see them as a fake company. The assets are real. The drilling is real. The rigs are real. The people are real. The oils are, it's can they get it out like they're supposed to? Do they have the experience? And that's more operations than executive. It's not really strategy. It's execution, I guess. So, but I hear you, man. GameStop. I don't know. I don't really follow GameStop, so I'd have to take a look at it. Prop chart. Okay, I'll pull up prop chart. CRV doesn't need. Fuck air conditioning, dude. Fat guy. We sweat anyway. Not a lurker is here. The great not a lurker. Sub and like. Thank you for coming, not a lurker. Sorry, I forgot to text you. Yeah, I'll check out prop. I will. Sorry, I didn't read any of these comments before. Open has a new CEO, new narrative. That's all you need, man. Just a fresh face. Get you an Armo. See what he can do. I don't like prop stet load. You kind of have to expect that, Clyde, after making, major asset purchases. Friends, don't tell your friends about me. You'll lose them. Listen, turds is stock, and that's all we need. Is a stock? Yes, is a stalker. I told my friends he started to run away as soon as I opened my mouth. Oh man, that's terrible. Let's see. I'm so hurt. Let's see. I'm famous. Dude ass face, very famous. Use your power. It's Ryan. Yeah, mattresses are going to be big. Leveraging AI to improve sleep quality. Dude, Carl C. Marcus developed the AI mattress. Things knows when you want to sleep before you want to sleep. Sends knockout gas, drags you in, throws you down the stairs, gives you cab fare. It's a great situation. I'm confident that you won't lose on prop. Any progress too apparent in what they do. I'm not confident, but I like the risk reward profile, Keynes. Keynes. I don't know if I'm saying that properly, but yeah, I like the stock, and nothing has changed about that. I like the stock. I like the CEO. I like the space. I like the prices they're paying for their assets. I like the stock, and the price action doesn't bother me. The great M. Russo 215 is here. The great M. Russo. Welcome. Hello, M. Russo. The great Eddie Martin is here. Eddie Martin. I caught up. I bought a few $11 puts on open for October 17, hoping for the good luck, man. Good luck. Richard Von Gittin Jr. is here. I wish Anthony Noto would turn loose of news and SoFi's accomplishments instead of waiting for the end of the quarter. Yeah, he's not like this other guy, Richard, who, gets out there and is just constantly doing the press shuffle and all this stuff. He's more of a meat and potatoes guy. He's more of a traditionalist. He's more of a, we let the, ER speak for itself, which I think these days you just can't do that. You have to be out there cheerleading. I know he's on X and all this stuff, but it's just not enough. Yeah, SoFi is such a great company to be trading, only 10x sales with their eventual margins, with their growth. I think they should be trading, honestly, more. I think the stock should be, I know I was saying 24.75, but now I'm saying, 31. I really think this stock is just way more than meets the eye still. I think people still have no idea what this is. And I think by the time they add everything in that they're going to add, it's going to be an absolute monster and it's going to be sucking market share from everywhere. And I don't think Anthony Noto's one damn bit scared of Vlad or Robinhood. Not one little bit. Oh, don't sub and like, please. Please don't sub and like. Anyway, guys, sorry that was so long. Didn't really go anywhere. Shocker. Anyway, guys, that's about all I had. Talking Opendoor, talking this and that, talking. Oh yeah, we were going to. Sorry, Clyde. We're going to pull open the prop chart here. Let's take a look. Tesla ripping today again. I don't really know why. Let's see. Okay, so what are we doing, guys? Let's take a look at the 1 year. Is this prop? Yeah, so it's not pretty. It's definitely not pretty. Well, I mean, you have, I think you had a real nice kind of base here. I like this, say 206, 207. I mean, it moved up very, very convincingly. Not on a huge amount of volume. Now where is it going to go from here? It's really hard to say. I mean, I don't know if we can monkey with this line at all. Is this kind of a pivot? Let's see what we're doing. Let's put this kind of here-ish. Should be right about there. Yeah, I mean, oh, Jesus. What's volume doing? If you see how this is moving down versus how it's moving up and sideways, this is a very formulaic terrace accumulation pattern for me. I mean, it's basically a stock killer. They walk it down, they accumulate a little more, they buy and sell. This is just over and over these algos just buying and selling these sort of terrace steps. They're buying, they're selling. They're buying, they're selling. They're buying, they're selling. They're buying, they're selling. It's just over and over and over. I mean, when you look at this chart, guys, I mean, it's a master class. It's a master class in walk downs. I mean, you're talking a walk down from 16 in April 2024, and you're talking a walk down from 1058 it touched here. And I mean, it was making a market here, at 9. And this is just, February 2025. So this is 7 months ago. The stock is touching 1050. Now it's down at 2. And that's a classic trap in many cases. It's the buying opportunity because it went from 10 to 2. It has to be a great buying opportunity. It doesn't have to be. It could be garbage. You're gonna, Opendoor went from 1 to 5 back to 40 cents. And a lot of people think probably I don't think there's going to be this 7x dilution. I really don't think management's going to let their shares. Man, don't forget, guys. Listen, management owns a lot of this company. That's what I think people don't really recognize is management owns 41.15% of the shares. So almost 21 million shares of stock, which is hardly insignificant, almost $50 million. And I mean, these guys aren't billionaires. I know that one guy's a hedge fund guy, but he's not like a huge guy. So that's very strong institutional ownership. I know many of these oil companies are like that, but I don't think we have any reason to worry that they want to make those shares, worthless and just cash out shares and churn shares. It doesn't sound like to me that's what they want to do. Now, I think the question is management going to execute or not? Not is management running a scam here? I don't think they're running a scam, but there's certainly the danger that they're not able to execute and get the production up to where it needs to be. So hopefully that answers your question, Clyde. I appreciate it. Yeah, no, there hasn't been as far as I know. I haven't seen any either, Clyde. That's this is an institutional share, so 7 million. It's not exactly a screamer, Clyde. You're right. Anyway, guys, I got to run. I really appreciate it. It's Open Door. It's Un Poco Moss. It's the great Nautilurker J Money. We appreciate you. It's the great Alberto Bertiavles. Tesla up 6%. Yeah, Tesla's been ripping. Yeah, you got it, Clyde. Appreciate it. You guys have a great one. Un Poco Moss. Thanks a lot. Welcome and hello. Goodbye and goodbye.